Everyone is waiting for the crash. Millions of Americans are sitting on the sidelines, clutching their savings, refreshing Zillow and Redfin every single morning, waiting for the 2008-style housing collapse that the financial gurus promised them. They are waiting for the bubble to burst so they can finally afford a piece of the American dream. But I am here to tell you the brutal, unfiltered truth that the mainstream media refuses to admit. The crash is not coming. The housing market is not collapsing. It is doing something much, much worse. It is completely, totally, and irreversibly frozen. Welcome to the 2026 real estate trap. We are living through a phenomenon that economists call the lock-in effect, but on Main Street, we call it the golden handcuffs. And if you don't understand exactly how this trap works, you are going to spend the next decade of your life transferring your hard-earned wealth to a system that is rigged against you. To understand the sheer scale of this crisis, we have to look at the cold, hard math. Right now, the average interest rate on existing mortgages in the United States sits at a very comfortable 4.4%. Millions of homeowners locked in even lower rates, around 3%, during the pandemic era of cheap money. But if you want to buy a house today, the average new mortgage rate is hovering around 6.4% or higher. That 2 to 3% gap is not just a number on a spreadsheet. It is a financial prison wall. Imagine you are a homeowner who bought a starter home in 2019. Your family has grown. You have 2 kids, you need an extra bedroom, and you want to move to a better school district. In a normal economy, you would sell your starter home and upgrade. But in the 2026 economy, if you sell your home and give up your 3 or 4% mortgage, and take on a new mortgage at 6.5% for a slightly larger home, your monthly payment doesn't just go up a little bit. It literally doubles. You would be paying twice as much money every single month, just to live in a house with 1 extra bedroom. So, what do? You do what millions of other Americans are doing right now. You stay put. You do not sell. You refuse to move. You are trapped in your own home by the golden handcuffs of a low interest rate. This mass paralysis has created the most artificial and toxic inventory crisis in modern American history. Because nobody is selling, there are virtually no existing homes hitting the market. And because there is no supply, prices are refusing to drop, even though buyer demand has been crushed by high interest rates and inflation. The data is absolutely terrifying. According to recent projections from Redfin, the median home sale price is actually expected to rise by about 1% in 2026. Rents are climbing by 2 to 3%. The typical American home now costs a staggering $357,445, all while sales volume, the actual number of houses changing hands, remains historically depressed. This means we are in a zombie market. Prices are near all-time highs, but nobody is transacting. And who is paying the ultimate price for this frozen market? It is the young generation. It is Generation Z and younger millennials who did not have the capital to buy a home before the interest rates exploded. They are facing the cruelest version of the housing story imaginable. The market isn't crashing, so there is no opportunity to buy the dip. But it isn't affordable, either. An entire generation of Americans is being systematically locked out of homeownership. They are not locked out because the market failed. They are locked out because the market is working exactly as it was designed to work for the people who already own assets. We are seeing a massive surge in young families being pushed into non-traditional living situations. We are seeing multi-generational households becoming the norm, not by choice, but by absolute financial necessity. People are moving back in with their parents in their 30s simply because the math of buying a starter home at 7% interest on a normal salary is physically impossible. This is not an accident. This is a massive, generational wealth transfer from the young and the renting class, directly to the old and the asset-owning class. If you are renting right now, your landlord is never going to sell that property. Why would they? They hold a massive appreciating asset finance with incredibly cheap debt, and they are passing the rising costs of inflation directly onto you through annual rent increases. You are paying for their equity. You are funding their retirement. And you are being told by society that if you just work a little harder, save a little more from your paycheck, you too can join the club. It is a lie. You cannot outsave this level of systemic inflation and rate manipulation. So, what do you do in this situation? How do you survive and build wealth when the traditional path, going to college, getting a job, and buying a house with a white picket fence, has been completely destroyed? If you are watching this, you need to pay very close attention, because this is where we stop complaining about the rigged system, and we start learning how to beat it. Here is the exact, step-by-step blueprint of what you need to do right now to protect your financial future in the 2026 housing trap. Strategy number 1, you must completely shatter the psychological stigma of renting. For decades, the financial gurus told you that renting is throwing money away. That was true in 2012. It is mathematically false in 2026. In many major markets right now, the monthly cost of owning a home, when you factor in a 6.5% mortgage, property taxes, exploding home insurance premiums, and maintenance, is wildly more expensive than renting the exact same property. You must execute the rent and invest arbitrage. If renting costs you $2,000 a month, but buying that same house would cost you $3,500 a month, you do not just rent and spend the difference on a new car. You rent and you aggressively, ruthlessly invest that $1,500 difference every single month into cash-flowing assets. You put it into the S&P 500. You buy dividend-paying stocks. You build a massive portfolio of liquid assets that historically outpace inflation. You let the stock market build your equity, while your landlord deals with the leaking roof and the property taxes. Strategy number 2, if you want exposure to real estate, you do not need to sign a 30-year mortgage. You need to look into fractional real estate and REITs. A REIT is a real estate investment trust. It is a company that owns, operates, or finances income-generating real estate. By buying shares of a REIT in your brokerage account, you are effectively buying a piece of thousands of apartment buildings, commercial centers, and data centers. You get paid the rental income in the form of dividends, but you never have to unclog a toilet, you never have to deal with a bad tenant, and most importantly, you do not need to lock yourself into a massive, high-interest loan. You get the benefits of being a landlord, with the liquidity of a stock market investor. Strategy number 3, geographic arbitrage. If you are determined to own physical property, you must stop trying to fight a losing battle in Tier 1 coastal cities or heavily saturated markets where inventory is frozen. You have to move. The 2026 economy rewards the highly mobile. With the normalization of remote work and the rise of digital businesses, your income is no longer tied to your zip code. You must take your high-paying coastal or corporate salary and move to emerging markets, states and cities in the Midwest or the Sunbelt where builders are actually constructing new homes, where inventory is rising, and where the local government is friendly to development. You buy where the math makes sense, not where the media tells you it is popular to live. Strategy number 4, the house hacking imperative. If you absolutely must buy a property in this high-rate environment, the only mathematical way to make it work without drowning in debt is to house hack. You do not buy a single-family home. You buy a duplex, a triplex, or a property with a completely separate accessory dwelling unit, like a finished basement or a guest house. You live in one unit, and you rent out the others. You force your tenants to pay your 6.5% mortgage. Your goal is not to have a massive, beautiful house for yourself. Your goal is to reduce your personal housing expense to absolute zero. If you can eliminate your housing cost, you have effectively freed up 30 to 40% of your income, which can now be weaponized to build real wealth. The traditional American dream of homeownership is currently on life support. The golden handcuffs are real, and they are keeping millions of people exactly where they are. But a frozen housing market does not mean your wealth-building journey has to freeze along with it. The elites want you to feel desperate. They want you to panic and sign a terrible mortgage that you cannot afford, just to feel like you are part of the ownership class. Do not fall for the trap. Stay liquid. Be extremely strategic with where you live. Invest aggressively in assets that do not require a bank's permission to own, and position yourself to strike when the market eventually shifts. If this video helped you understand the reality of the 2026 housing trap, hit the like button and let me know your exact living situation in the comments. Are you renting and investing? Are you house hacking? Or are you feeling the pressure of the golden handcuffs? I read every single comment. To keep educating yourself and stay ahead of the massive financial shifts happening right now, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Stay smart, stay liquid, and I will see you in the next video.